Okay, I think I'm live and recording. This is a picture of my garden, or, well, a video about my garden that I promised you all. This is from the outside. We're still working on this fence. It's kind of the Board of the Month Club, but we have so many projects going on that we have to just do it when it's convenient and when things go on sale, and so it might take a little while. This probably end of this fall we will have all the fence here. It's just this one fence that needs to go up here right along the front, and we're going to switch out this 3-board all the way down the rest of the front of the pasture to a 4-board, and this will be 4-board, and probably will paint with the black horse paint all the wooden fence. So let's go in and look at the garden. And we put a farm gates on. I tried to find a pretty gate, but I couldn't, so we used the farm gates. But what I did was I put chicken wire on the bottom, tied up with little zip ties, and all along the bottom of the fence here, because of rabbits, you have to leave like a little apron too. So I actually have that all around the garden, and even the bottom of the farm fence over here, and that's really helped with rabbits, because I think if you look way down there, you'll see the 2 barns. There's one white barn, sort of, we say white barn, that has the barn quilt on it. See the barn quilt? Looks like a quilting square, and the metal roof. And then the red barn beyond it, which needs to be redone. We're pulling that metal off, and we will actually retrofit that barn to the stalls for the animals we're looking to have. Probably going to get a Jersey cow, and if she has a heifer calf, we'll keep that too. But looking for some extra milk, because I like to make cheese now that I've discovered how to do it, and that will be fun. We were also thinking about maybe a goat or 2 to help with the grass, because the pasture is well seeded. There's a lot of good fodder for animals, but boy does it grow fast. So let's get back to the garden, and we're going to come in here, and you'll see I have the garden set up as it's actually 9 beds, but 8 of them are 4 by 8 feet, and I do the square foot garden method instead of the actual grids that the square foot garden method asks you to put in it. You know, this would normally have grids in it to mark out all the square footage. I really just put markings on the wood. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't think I have it on this one. Probably over here on this one. Of course not the first 2 that I come to it in, but a couple of them that I did that. And the reason why is I guess I'm so used to the system now I even mentally can see it. I don't even use it anymore. This first bed I tried to make, and you can see the brick underneath it because I tried to raise it. We put these beds together pretty fast and cheap, and I know they look it, and they're not as deep as they need to be. So we are going to replace these beds in the fall with some deeper beds and add more soil to them. The soil mixture that I used this year, I wanted to make sure it was well drained and had some manure. So this has a potting mix that I got from a local landscape, it's a greenhouse company. Green nursery is the word I was trying to get out and couldn't. And they have a very light mulch mix potting soil they use, and they mix in their fertilizers. I got some without their chemical fertilizer, which is just the light mulch mix. But getting back to the mixture, it would be that potting soil mix that they had, and sand, and composted organic manure. And I mixed that all up together with some garden soil, some organic garden soil from the store, and made a nice light mixture for the beds. And I will be adding more to that this fall. I've composted some of my own, and I've started putting that in the beds. And it's drawing a lot of butterflies and moths. It's kind of strange, but there must be something in that compost they really crave. This first bed, like I said, I tried to raise up a little bit more because I've got potatoes in here. I've got sweet potatoes here on the front, and they're doing pretty good. And I've got russet potatoes over here, and they're not doing so good. And the reason is I actually planted them in a different bed in mid-March, and then because we had so much rain right after I planted them, I dug them up within a few days, and because I knew the rain was scheduled to kind of be extended, and held on to them. So I cut them again and let them scab over, and then I put them here a few weeks later. Now, we've had some crazy weather where past couple of years we've had some late frost, and I got started planting a little late. And unfortunately, because the garden is new, I used probably about half transplants and the rest seed. But next year I plan to do all seed, definitely. I don't like transplants, and the main reason is they jack them up, they rush them to the store, and they don't do as well. Then they don't do as well as the seed that you plant in the garden. And especially since I'm doing organic, the produce that I have is going to be, not going to be as large, and it's going to have more blemishes than others because it's chemical free. All the organic produce is going to be like that. You just kind of have to get used to it. Anyway, getting back to this garden, I also have horseradish planted there in the corner, here and there. I also have nasturtiums and marigold, and one of the best thing you can plant when your potato bed, if you have potatoes, is icicle radish. Icicle radish will give you a double harvest. And to clarify, you can not only harvest the radish, which is really large, but you get these wonderful seed pods. Let me see if I can get a close-up of these seed pods. Like here they are. And this is where you get your double harvest, because these are wonderful crunchy little edibles in your salad. And I learned that this year, and I'm very excited. They tasted wonderful. Now the ones that are remaining I'm letting go to seed, because I want more in here next year. However, these 4 beds, I will be rotating out the crops over the years. For instance, like this one has the potatoes in it. That one I put onions and beans in. This one has tomatoes and peppers, and beyond that is cucumbers. So they'll get all rotated out. And the reason for that is pests. And that's another reason for companion plants, which I'll go through the beds and tell you individually. But you don't want to plant your crops twice in a row in the same place. That helps cut down on garden pests. And all these things are very important when you're trying to garden organically. So this is the 3rd bed. I actually went, let's see, did I go that way? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did. I actually counted that one as 1. So when I numbered the beds, I started 1, 2, 3, and then the one behind me, 4. This one has onions, and it's mostly harvested. I need to get in here and harvest the rest of this out. The yellow onions did wonderfully. This also was a little bit of an experiment, because I did not put the black landscape fabric under this bed, and you can see it got a lot more weeds in it, and I'm still pulling. But definitely will continue to use landscape fabric, because it worked better in the other beds than this one. And you can see I've got some other types of peppers in here. There's sweet pepper and some pimento, and I think there might be 2 or 3 other kinds of peppers. I have to go back and look at the tags. I also had some red onions I started from seed. Those are the strong ones right here in the middle. And I had more. We had a couple issues with some of the seeds getting disturbed, and they didn't do as well right in through here. But I also have some long Tokyo green onions in here. And these are Alabama yellow onions. And over here I had white onions. They were more small, pearly, and they did really well. I harvested those out. These are pole beans coming in. It's Kentucky Wonder pole beans. They germinated. All this is within a week. So you see how fast that goes. But it needs structure. So I've got these posts here. I'm hoping that'll be enough. I hope I don't have to tie some bamboo poles in with it. And of course there's my great big galvanized tub I love. And the worst water hose in the world. I'll tell you more about that. It's supposed to be a good one, but it doesn't bend. It's like handling some sort of rigid plastic, and I hate it. I'll be start changing that out as soon as I can afford to. Just before we continue with the rest of the garden, I want to show you what I have over here in the corner. And it's been kind of hard to keep the weeds out of it from that side, but I'll work on it. This is my mint garden. I love this garden. This is spearmint right here, and I harvest this almost on a daily basis. I love to put a sprig in my iced tea and my water. It just tastes so good, the spearmint. And then down here, the smaller ones are peppermint, and that's wonderful dried to teas. The white flowers are, what are they? Zinnias. And some of them do well and some of them don't. I do put the organic feed on these garden beds, not the commercial like Osmocote, which I do in my flowers. So let's continue on. Okay, so this would be the fourth bed, this would be the third bed, and this is the second bed. My garden is more of an experimental garden this year, and you'll see why as I continue. But this did not do well this year. My tomatoes were a big disappointment, and my peppers were a big disappointment. So I am suspecting the soil right now. Also, there's some controversy as to whether you should put tomatoes and peppers together. Some say they're perfect companion plants. I've had trouble with them. I'm going to separate them next year. These were my green peppers, and they are terrible. Now, of course, great companion plants for tomatoes and peppers are marigolds, and I always use them liberally. I have some hot peppers, as you can see, the little baby hot pepper that's growing in there. Right, I don't know if you can see it. Right in there. Anyway, I've also harvested so much out that I have started to replant some things. So some of the little seedlets and things that you see are new plants. That's borage. Borage is a wonderful plant, companion plant for tomatoes, and I didn't really catch on to that until the middle of this year. So I will be planting tomato and borage together, and I will show you borage as we get to the other beds. But these are the tomatoes. Now this is the worst tomato I've ever planted right here. This totally sucks. This is a Carolina Early Girl tomato. I think that's the name of it. I don't think I kept the tag on it. But it went along pretty well, and then I had some soil issues with the tomatoes I had to correct. I had some fungus under the soil, which makes me also suspicious about this soil. I don't know what happened to this bed, but I'm going to have to amend the soil. I managed to pull them through a couple of different diseases, and this is just going to have to be pulled out this week probably. Something else put in it. These tomatoes are doing okay. I believe that's Big Boy. And these tomatoes are from seed, and they're so much better. This is going to be, actually this one's coming over from the other side, but underneath it and over here are the grape size tomatoes. This is going to be cherry tomato right here, and these are all coming on pretty good. But all in all, this bed was a real disappointment, and I will be studying up on things that I possibly did wrong with it. I know that I struggled to get some structure in place. All of these beds I had to get in before planting, so they're not perfect, and I will be making better beds this fall. But these are my cucumbers, and they are crazy producers. I've pulled just one day, I think I wrote that I pulled 12 pounds of cucumbers out in one day, and that's a lot for me. I pickled a lot of it, but I still have over half of it I have to do something with. And I've been putting them in cucumber tomato salads with feta cheese and spices and things like that. And I'll probably also make some cucumber yogurt dressing, you know, like they put on the Greek gyros, I guess gyros, however you say it. Anyway, we also have nasturtiums as companion plants here. This is Grabby. We brought him with us from the Outer Banks. And I have nasturtiums in the middle. I have these great pickling cucumbers, and some dill over here, which I've mostly harvested out when I made my kosher dill pickles. Over here in this corner, I have mostly flowers, but in the center of this big structure right here, which I'm trying to get to grow up, are kiwi vines. And they're the ones right here, and I have to cut whatever that junk is out. I'm not sure what that is. It might be poison ivy. But I've got a butterfly bush going in here, and some sedum, and I've got, of course, some zinnias for color. And all these plants were, I expected more from them, but they're still babies, I guess. And I've got some stelladoros in front here. These are really cool. These Irish shamrocks right here. They have little pink flowers and really cool little shamrock thingies. And then there's peacock orchids that are coming in there. You really can't see, so I'm going to go away from this bed because you can't see much. This stump needs to be cut out, but this was one of the black walnut trees we had to cut down before I could reclaim this garden. Here's an overview of the garden and the new greenhouse from this side, and you can see the fence that we're putting in. Okay, and so we'll walk over here. This is garden bed 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I mentioned that before. Now this is garden bed 5, and I've saved a little, well, not little, but it's quite big actually, brick plinth from the property and moved it here along with my millstone, my old millstone here, and the sundial. And it says, "Grow old with me, the best is yet to be." So I really love that. And around that I put some lavender and some more zinnias, and I tried to start some other seeds in here for color, but I'm figuring out that this soil, this composted mulch is a little too dry for that. So I'm going to have to do it in pots and then transplant it. I'll be doing a lot of seed raising and transplanting it. I threw some shells around it just for some funsies and some interest. We get all our shells from the Outer Banks. My shadow is in that one. The Outer Banks house, the cottage that we had, was full of shells underneath the house. And I don't know if it's from a washover or what, but I'm fairly sure, because I've seen other people have that too in the older homes. We had an older cottage. It must have been from washover, which is kind of interesting. Alright, okay, that's that bed. Let's figure out, okay, this is bed 6, and these are my herbs. The herbs did really, really well, except for a few of them. Half of them were seeds, and those are the ones that did better, of course. This is lemon thyme. This is some of my favorite tea. I'll dry this and put this in tea. And of course we have some basil and Italian oregano. These things, I've also learned that the little flowers can be mixed in with your red sauces, and it's really good. Actually, I've thrown a few in salads, some cucumber, tomato salad. It's really good with that too. I have my coriander, my cilantro, that they've all bolted really fast, so I'm getting ready to pull. Well, I'm going to cut them back, but I'm going to get a variety that is slow bolt next year. This is sage. This is pineapple sage. This guy's crazy. I think I'm going to probably harvest most of him out soon and maybe dry it. Got rosemary right in the middle. As you know, that'll keep coming back bigger and plumper every year. I have parsley, dill. I have French tarragon. I have stevia, and I have, this is bee balm. 4 plants of bee balm. They're just now starting to come up. It's Monarda. It's called bee balm, and it attracts bees and butterflies. And I have tried to let some things go to bolt just for that reason, to attract more bees and butterflies. This is the stevia right here. Stuff is tremendous when you dry it. Very sweet. And this is lemon balm. This is the secret to good salads right here. Lemon balm leaves are delicious. And some of those are starting to bolt. I'll have to actually take that out. And I think I might have some sweet marjoram right there. That didn't do too well, but then again, I did put that in late. So, okay, that was bed number 6. And then this is bed number 7. We got some cabbages left. I had problems with my cabbage organically, of course, and I have since learned to sprinkle a little bit of diatomaceous earth on them to kill any of the worms that could be in there. Pretty much killed them all out. excuse me. Some people go as far as to put nylon hose over top of their cabbage when they're little, and I think I might try that this fall. I might try them again. But I don't like growing cabbage because I don't like fighting cabbage worms. This is, I just harvested all the romaine out of here, the remaining romaine lettuce. It just got leggy and bolted, so it needed to go. I did harvest that as long as I possibly could, and we had lots and lots of yummy salads. But this is compost from my tumbling composter right here. And everyone should have a compost pile. Tumbling composters are the best because it allows you to spin them, and I've been getting the best compost out of those. So we have carrots and kale, which did terrible. I'm not using this variety anymore, but then again, I still have to work on my soil. I don't have the soils perfect. This fall I may try some more. This is turnip, as you can see. Turnips. Now most of this bed's been harvested out, so I will have to plant this one, and this is bed 7. So we come over here, and this is bed 8, and this is asparagus. Doing really, really well. I bought a lot of 2-year-old crowns of Mary Washington, and so it's doing really, really good. All of it came up beautifully, and I'm looking forward to a harvest next spring. I don't want to harvest it out the first year at all. Some people say you can the first cutting. I'd rather reserve that for next year. And I think it's doing really, really well. It's packed full, so I should be getting even more shoots next year. Next to it are bush beans. They're doing really, really well. As most everything, I can't complain. Let me see if I can get some pictures of some beans that are in here. I harvested these out too, but there you can see one dangling down, so those have been really good. We get large handfuls of green beans every week, so I would say, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights we'll have a big thing of fresh green beans that we steam. It's great. Over here is my pride. This is the apple of my eye. May look just like a flower garden to you, but this is my new medicinal garden, and I've always wanted one of these. This has wonderful things in it. The big bushy thing is St. John's wort that went crazy. This is a coneflower. I've tried to grow the Tennessee variety of coneflower. Again, I'm having some trouble with seeds in the bed, so I will try that again next year and transplant it instead of planting it right in the bed. This is yarrow. This is a mullein from the garden. I don't know if you can see it, but it does these little flowers right here. I'm going to hold still for us. Right here. All season long. And this is borage. Borage is wonderful. All the flowers that I'm mentioning to you are used in herbal medicine. But borage, this is the borage I was telling you about that is a great companion plant for the tomatoes. Of course, this is a type of black-eyed Susan Rudbeckia here. It might be called, what's it called? Just a Rudbeckia. Then we have, this is hyssop, and it didn't do too well this year. I might have to try it again, but hopefully I can nurse this one along. These are some mulleins. And this is a feverfew. It looks a little bit like onions. And because of that, you know, I was thinking it might be weeds, but I realized that's what they look like, because I started some more seeds in pots just to be sure, and that is what